You have had a very interesting career to date so far. You used to work in advertising before deciding to become an illustrator. How did that all happen?
Well, it was kind of a long decision. I'd always thought that I wanted to become an illustrator, but my grand plan was that maybe by the time I was 35 or something, once I'd had my career, I'd go off and do it. But I had some nice jobs, and then eventually ended up working for a design firm, and I just clashed with someone that I worked with. We just had completely different ideas, and it just made me kind of question what I was doing there, really.
So how did you get on to an MA? How did you know how to draw? How did you get a place? I mean, how do you then progress to being an illustrator?
Well, I'd always done it. I'd always drawn anyway. I've always got a sketchbook with me, and doodle and do paintings for people and things. And it was quite a difficult decision when I decided to do it, because I didn't really know what you were supposed to do. I didn't know what I needed for my portfolio, or what sort of images they were looking for when they were asking people to come on the course. So I phoned up the guy that used to run the Kingston course, and he was really, really nice and just gave me lots of advice, and I showed him my work, and he kind of pointed out what was right and what needed working on. So I sorted all of that out, and they offered me a place.
What advice would you give to people who are considering giving up another career to pursue what they really love? Would you say go for it? What are the benefits?
In the long,
and the disadvantages.
You get to work from home. You don't have to work long hours. Well, you work long hours, but it's for yourself. But I do have a few friends that at the moment are having sort of mid-20s, 30s crises and leaving their jobs. But a lot of them don't have anything to do. So as long as you have a clear idea of where you want to be, then I think it's a good thing. You shouldn't be stuck in something that you're not enjoying.
So you've kept a lot of friends in the industry.
Yeah, I've tried to, because, just from doing art buying and things beforehand, I know that it's so important to, have to network and to know people that can maybe recommend you and, set up links that way. It doesn't just fall in your lap. So I've kind of kept my friends close. I use a lot of magazines and things for reference. And then most of my images I just draw with pencil. So I do the black and white bit with pencil and then scan it into the computer, and I then do a lot of washes with watercolour onto watercolour paper, scan that in, and then fiddle about with it, changing the opacity of layers and creating masks and doing a few Photoshoppy type things.
And what inspired you to create your character, Agent Amandine?
It's based on 4 characters, which are me and some people that I know who also are advertising people, and it's just basically our kind of bumbling our way through our 20s, but in kind of spy form. And
as you do.
Yeah, exactly, as you do. And the fashion kind of bit of it came in because that's what I love doing. I love fashion illustration. But I thought it'd be quite quirky if then I made her into this fashion super sleuth to give it a bit of a tongue-in-cheek kind of edge.
How has sort of contributing to Amelia's magazine, which you've obviously done for quite some time now, how has that sort of affected your development and sort of, the whole way you work with illustration?
It's been really positive, actually, because it's forced me to do a lot more work than I probably would do otherwise. And a lot more of the sort of things that I actually want to do. So I can see from when I first started doing stuff for you to now how I've kind of, my style hasn't necessarily changed, but it's kind of developed and maybe got a little bit more polished. And it just helps to have briefs to work to as well. So otherwise you can end up just doing stuff that's a bit arbitrary and, it's maybe not something that you're satisfied with. So it's definitely pushed me to keep going to make my drawings better. And it's great as well that people see it, and when they comment on blog posts and things like that, it's kind of, it spurs you on really, because it can be a bit lonely otherwise.
What is it that you love about fashion, do you think?
I like the way I like how the garments appear on the body, how, like when models are walking down the catwalk and the material's flowing, or if it's like a military look, then it's, it's really structured, and it's kind of like it's like the models are creating a piece of art in their own right by wearing the clothes. So it's not just, I don't think it's just about being frivolous or looking good. I enjoy how designers come up with different aesthetics and looks with what they're doing with their fabric. I feel like I'm a stylist, but in illustration terms. So you're basically communicating something more than just the clothes.